visit and cause people to clean my office up. This is wonderful. Anyway, it was good to be part of a senior day or SeniorCare celebration, and as several people told me in there that were around in 2002, it was a bipartisan solution to a Wisconsin problem, and that's why they're so proud to be part of it. So that was an interesting aside that hopefully we can recreate in the near future. So given that, I'll be glad to answer any questions you may have.
So Foxconn Chairman Terry Go has said he might run for president.
How about that?
Do you think that would have any impact on the Foxconn deal with the state?
I don't think so. I mean, he's I think we're at a point now where we are relatively confident that the original footprint of that project is going to be much smaller, but it seems to be a footprint that everybody agrees is likely to happen. So no, I don't think it will change. Again, my issue around Foxconn has always been to protect the taxpayers of the state, making sure that our environmental standards are met and to have great clarity and consistency of their message. And so whether Mr. Go is part of that enterprise or not, those are still my expectations, and I think we're in a much better place than we were several months ago.
Do you think Foxconn is going to employ 13,000 people in the state of Wisconsin?
I think at this point in time that would be an unrealistic expectation when they're downsizing the footprint of what they're doing. So 13,000 people as Foxconn employees is probably difficult to imagine for me right now, but I suppose it could take in a different direction.
What number do you think is more realistic? Do you have a sense of that?
Not a sense of it, but less, that's for sure. I mean, that was based on work that is not going to be done now. So I believe that it'll be a scaled back, important part. I mean, whether it's 1,300 or 13,000, that's a lot of folks. But it's unlikely in the near future it's going to be 13,000.
Is that good for taxpayers? You were critical of the size of the deal, some $4 billion. Is it in some ways good if we have fewer employees because you'd be less of a payout from taxpayers? Well,
I don't know what that. It's better for taxpayers and Wisconsinites to have a better understanding of what this project's likely to be about. And of course, there's always a multiplier effect. If you have 1,300 employees or 2,000 employees, they create additional wealth and jobs in the area. So all that multiplier effect will still be in place. But you know, the bottom line is they've shrunk their expectations, and that's what they're communicating now. So I support that consistent messaging. So I think that's where we'll be going forward in the near future.
The U.S. Attorney's Office last week said it was ending this Lincoln Hills investigation without charges. Mm-hmm. Would you like Josh Call to pick that up and review whether there should be any state charges, or should we put that criminal investigation behind us?
I think I'll leave that decision to Attorney General Call, but from my own vantage point, we need to move beyond that. The previous administration and the legislature made the effort to legislative effort, political effort to close that prison and to create new opportunities closer to home for those kids. And so that's where our focus has to be. I mean, it's right now we're fighting over whether it's 2 or 3 and where those places should be. The sooner that we resolve that, the better. We have a mission. We have to accomplish it, and that's where my goal is going to be. If Attorney General Call wants to look at it differently, that's his purview.
You have one of the strongest veto powers in the nation, and yesterday in Eau Claire you said if the GOP hands you a budget that you need to veto, you're prepared to do that. Are you prepared to veto an entire budget?
That would be a last resort, but yes, the veto power is important. Clearly, we have a divided government, and one of my strengths is a veto. And in addition, it could be a veto of certain parts of the budget that Republicans feel very strongly about. But I won't be surrendering that at all. It is a possibility. That would be a last resort. If things really go off the rail, I'm hopeful that that won't be used.
Quick follow-up on Foxconn. Does the fact that the company has scaled back those plans for Wisconsin, does that necessitate any action on the state's part, do you think? I mean, is there anything?
Great question. We are working with them now to think through how that looks. Clearly, the deal that was struck is no longer in play, and so we will be working with individuals at Foxconn, and of course with WEDC to figure out how a new set of parameters should be negotiated and talked
Are we
about.
talking about revisions to the contract?
Yes.
Or, okay.
Yes.
Can you talk a bit about what might be on the table there in terms of those revisions?
It's premature to say that, but all we know is that the present contract deals with a situation that no longer exists. So it's our goal to make sure that the taxpayers are protected and environmental standards are protected, and we believe that we need to take a look at that contract and see if it needs to be downsized as a result.
We have time for 2 more questions. Do you plan on making the rest of the appointments that were withdrawn by the courts? You still have some Board of Regents and a few other positions. Do you plan on making those soon?
We are looking at that clearly. The Supreme Court hasn't yet weighed in on that specific issue, but we're in the process of looking at potential applicants, and we may be making those, but it's still premature to make those decisions.
Last question.
Governor, related to CWD, I have a question from a colleague. She said there is some public support for a payments for positives pilot program, and also a ban on a statewide baiting and feeding.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any thoughts on those 2 things?
Yeah, I think those are both realistic approaches to dealing with the problem, but as our secretary has talked about, we really need to do is collect the information. It's difficult to kind of jump ahead and try to accomplish one factor and then maybe another one. We need to know what best practice is, what's worked, but we take it seriously, but we're collecting that information and we want a comprehensive strategy.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.